Hello, welcome back. Just reporting in after having returned from the biggest fragrance exhibition in the world because I wanted to tell you about some new fragrance discoveries that have seriously impressed me. Stay tuned. Esxence this year was amazing. If you've not seen my videos on how that event went down, there's a couple that I will link to at the end of this video, but watch this one first before you go over there. But seriously good content, so do check those out. I've been going to Esxence in Milan for the last few years. I love it. There's so many new brands to discover. There's almost too many brands. It's such a massive event. There is no way, even in 4 days, that you can get around and smell everything. So you've just got to go and be mindful of the fact that you're not going to see everything, but hopefully you will still make some fantastic new fragrance discoveries. I did. Some of the brands I'm going to talk about in this video, maybe you've heard of them before, but they might be new discoveries for me. Maybe you will discover some new brands I'm about to talk about. So let's dive in and see what impressed me this year. Most of you will have heard of this brand. This is Nishane. It's their brand new fragrance. They've been doing X versions of some of their popular scents. This one is Tuberose X or Tuberosa X. The notes are ylang ylang, mandarin orange, Indian tuberose, lipstick and violet. Whether that means it's iris. Sometimes we talk about iris smelling a little bit lipsticky, but it's got that little bit of a makeup-y vibe to it. Sandalwood, velvet, amber and musk. They threw one of the best parties in Milan, if not the best party actually. And Nishane have this reputation for throwing amazing parties in amazing locations. This was no exception. It was in this palace style building. Stunning. As we walked in, there's a little table full of these miniature bottles of Tuberosa X, so naturally I grabbed one. On the night I was wearing something else, so I didn't actually wear it, so I just smelled it from the sprayer, and it is, as you would expect, leaning into white florals, tuberose. It's a little bit bubblegummy to me. Sometimes tuberose can have that sweet bubblegum quality, so it does have that. And on the evening, I've got to admit, I thought that it smelled a little too feminine, and I think a few of us that were there thought a similar thing. I smelt this on a lady and it smelled amazing. It was sexy, it was lively, it was fun, it was a great party fragrance. Since getting home, I've been wearing this a little bit, I've been trying it on skin, and actually it is more masculine than I gave it credit for initially, so sorry about that. Nishane, great party by the way. So I have no problem wearing this. It's actually not that far away from the white florals in something like Reflection Man. It's got that white floral powderiness, a little bit of woodiness. It's a powerful fragrance. It smells great, very easy to wear. I'm enjoying it. Very impressed with the latest from Nishane, Tuberosa X. You've probably heard me mention a brand that I've encountered for the last few years whenever I've been to Esxence. That is Esxence. They are a brand that seem to get talked about quite a lot. Each year they really impress me. I think they're a great brand. Not yet available here in the UK. They've got a new line. Their original line is great. Loads of choice, loads of fragrances. The quality is superb. The new line is called Profound. They have 3 fragrances, and my favorite from this line is called Amaretto Oath. So as the name would suggest, this is a stunning amaretto fragrance. The notes are red plum, shiso, amaretto, orange, rose, jasmine, mimosa, chocolate, amber, patchouli and labdanum. So plum, which is the or ume in the name, not quite sure how you pronounce that, amaretto, and a fruity mimosa, so you get a bit of a tropical fruity cocktail smell, and then the richness of the chocolate, the patchouli and the amber. Very smooth fragrance. You do get the heavier, sweeter notes in the base, but it's not a heavy fragrance at all. It's quite an airy, diffusive fragrance. I think the fruitiness and the zippiness of the amaretto, the slight zinginess that amaretto has helped carry the scent off into the air. Beautiful scent. If you like plum, if you like boozy amaretto, almondy style fragrances with a little bit of fruitiness and then some chocolatey goodness there in the base, I mean, let's be honest, that's probably most people in the world that like that sort of fragrance, then you're gonna love this. Very easy to wear, very high quality, great performance, smells amazing. I think Esxence have done a really good job with this new Profound line. This next brand was discovered completely by chance. My friend Steve from the channel Everyman Fragrances, I was just smelling something else further down the hall, and he said, Chris, come and smell this brand. There's a couple in here that I think you'll really like. And they're called Elixir of the World. I think they originate from India. I was seriously impressed. They've got an oud collection and other collections, but of the oud collection I've got here, they very kindly gave me 2 fragrances. This one is oud in leather. This is sort of in the Tuscan leather family. It's fruity leather. Great performance. It's probably a little more rounded, a bit more mellow, a bit more easy to wear than Tuscan leather, a touch sweeter as well. It is fantastic. The quality in this is undeniable. Great to wear with a leather jacket, which I have done several times since having this for only a few days. I've enjoyed it that much, I've already given it a few full wearings, and I think Steve's even posted about this on his Instagram. He thinks a lot of people are going to enjoy this fragrance. The other one in this oud line is called Blazed Agar. Pretty cool name, and as you can see, these bottles are pretty nice as well. I think the presentation is good. It looks fairly classy and sophisticated. Blazed Agar is a rosy, chocolatey patchouli scent. The quality is superb, performance fantastic. I smelled a few others from a different line they had in their brand, and I was really impressed with all of them. In particular, one called Impetus comes in a blue bottle. Amazing. One of the best fresh blue fragrances I've smelled in a long time, and I know we've been inundated with those fragrances. There are many on the market, but this was super high quality, very wearable, but definitely a niche quality bluer fragrance, but it was doing its own thing. It wasn't boring and generic. Really enjoyed that as well. So this brand, Elixir of the World, you're not going to find too much out about them online. They've got an Instagram page, but even that doesn't reveal much information about their fragrances. And that's the cool thing about going to an event like Esxence. We find these smaller brands from corners of the world which would never normally come across. I'm not quite sure exactly how to pronounce this guy's name, but I'm going to have a go in my finest Italian. Lorenzo Paglia. I've been aware of this brand for a couple of years now. I've had some samples. Great creative style, very different to anything else you've smelled, not inspired by other fragrances, completely doing his own thing. This guy is a fantastic perfumer. He's being bold enough to create new and interesting fragrances, but wearable fragrances. One of them that was my favorite of the lineup is called Escopazzo. I don't think it's a new fragrance, but new to me. It's very attention grabbing and wearable, a bit of green spiciness over a base of tobacco, leather and amber. It's not a dark tobacco fragrance. There's lots of airiness and liveliness going on. Lavender is quite prominent, pops off this. You spray this on and this is like a cacophony of notes just pinging off your skin. It's like a fireworks display coming off your skin. It's attention grabbing, it's statement making, it smells lovely. There's a little bit of creaminess in with it as well. I wore this one evening whilst I was out, the last evening I was in Milan actually. Beautiful fragrance, so look out for Lorenzo Paglia because there's another one that I also loved, and this I think might be the best name of all the fragrances I experienced at Esxence. And believe me, there's a lot of weird and interesting names, but this one is called Choco Raptor. And as the name suggests, this is a chocolate fragrance with a bite. Not only one of the best names, one of the best note breakdowns. Check this out. Chocolate, saffron, anise, candied almond, ginger, grapefruit, bergamot, white chocolate, patchouli, davana, cardamom, almond blossom, violet, cedar, leather, oud, sandalwood, tonka bean, Madagascan vanilla, bourbon vanilla, woody notes, patchouli, amber, and musk. Whew. Now that's a note breakdown. That's a Roger length note breakdown. Anyway, enough about Roger's length. This is a fragrance that has gourmand flourishes, but despite what you might think from the notes, it doesn't go full gourmand. It has sweetness and sensuality, but there's a bite to it as well. So statement making fragrance full of attitude with some really nice sexy sweetness in there. Choco Raptor. If you love fragrance as much as I do, head over to my online store luxparfum.co.uk. You'll find my favourite brands plus brands you can't find anywhere else in the UK. Link is in the description. I met a lovely guy whilst I was there called Simon, and he owns a brand called Neshama. He's the brand owner and the perfumer. Had a good chat with him. My favourite fragrance from the 3 that he allowed me to sample was called Souls on Fire, and this is super high quality. I think this brand is going to do really well. It's going to go a long way. Very opulent Middle Eastern style, reminded me a little bit of the style of my favorite fragrance from Zoologist Perfumes, which is Camel. So some dried fruits and churchy incense. Exceptional stuff from a new up and coming house. Simon's a great guy, really glad I met him, got along really well with him. He's a funny guy, he's very passionate, and I think that really shows in his fragrances. He really cares about what he's creating here. So that one is Souls on Fire. This one I probably think is equally as good. This is Jasmine and Tobacco. Despite having jasmine in the name, there's definitely more of an emphasis on the incense and the tobacco rather than the white florals. It's got that quite almost animalic, strong quality to it, but it's all softened out with that mysterious incense. Really lovely stuff. So watch out for Neshama perfumes, because I think Simon is going to get pretty popular with these. Only one more brand now to talk about, but there are quite a few from this brand that I really loved. I'm going to focus on my 4 favorites, so the 4 that stood out to me. The brand is called Bohobo. Very nicely presented and very popular booth, and their bottles match the presentation of their booth as well. It's a great presentation across the line. It's all sleek lines and white backgrounds. One of my favorites from Bohobo, because I love a little bit of cherry, is Wet Cherry Liquor. It is a beautiful, very realistic, juicy cherry. So if you like cherries, if you like booze, you'll pretty much love this fragrance. Good performance, great quality, excellent. Vanilla and black pepper. This is an awesome spicy vanilla. If you love vanilla fragrances, this is one that is done really well. It's not just a full-on creamy vanilla. The spicy, peppery backbone really lifts the fragrance and gives it that attitude that I love. So sort of a toasting marshmallows type of smokiness. So the sweetness of that, the creaminess of the vanilla, the spiciness of that peppery backbone. Really good one. And the award for the strangest fragrance name in this video is Wild Carrot Oud. I saw this out there on display and I thought probably going to be wild, probably going to be too quirky and crazy for me, but I had to smell it and it's actually a really lovely fragrance. It is a little bit wild and unique, but I love it. It's got this dark, brooding, very impactful nature. It's certainly wearable. It's not so crazy that it's unwearable. Yes, Wild Carrot Oud. Crazy name, crazy fragrance, but good fragrance. I do like some coffee fragrances when it's done well. The coffee in Killian's Black Phantom, love that, but it's supported by lots of other beautiful sweet notes. If it's an out and out straight espresso smelling coffee fragrance, I like the smell, but I'm not sure it's something I'd want to wear. But this coffee fragrance from Bohobo is called Coffee and White Flowers, and this is just something else. This is maybe the best coffee focused fragrance I've ever smelled, and it's not an espresso style coffee. This is a creamy, sweet coffee. Not how I drink my coffee, but the smell of this is, oh, you know what it smells like? It's a bit like a tiramisu. Not the booziness of a tiramisu, but the creaminess and the coffee and the chocolate. Very dessert-like, but wearable. You're not just gonna smell like you've spilt your dessert on you. It's a wearable fragrance. It's beautifully done. It's probably gonna get some compliments. Very gourmand and sexy coffee and white flowers. The last one, which I think was probably my favorite from the brand, is Dark Vinyl Musk. This one reminded me of the style of Dior Homme Parfum. Now, I don't think there's any iris in this. There is leather, like in Dior Homme Parfum, but there's resins, incense. So it's not the same as Dior Homme Parfum, but it's the same sort of vibe. So if you want to smell a bit badass, if you're wearing a leather jacket, or you want to wear something that's a little bit statement making, it's got some attitude, maybe boosts the confidence a little bit. Just think how Dior Homme Parfum makes you feel if you enjoy that fragrance, and I think Dark Vinyl Musk is gonna make you feel a similar way. It's gonna give you a similar experience, because I love that style of fragrance so much. Something that is very pleasant, very crowd pleasing for others around you to wear, so it's mainstream enough to be confident about wearing it around other people, but it's got enough power and there's enough about it that is satisfying to the wearer that makes this just a stunning fragrance to wear. So that is my favourite from the brand, Dark Vinyl Musk. Even the Discovery set is a great representation of how the brand thinks about their presentation and how they want everything to tie in with the brand. Bohobo, watch out for this brand. I think they're going to be doing big things. Do let me know what your thoughts are on some of these that I've mentioned. They are all really good. I'm so glad that I got to travel to Italy and discover these fragrances that I would not have otherwise discovered, and maybe bring in some of these onto my website to sell in the UK for you to purchase, which you wouldn't have otherwise had the opportunity if I hadn't have gone to Milan. So it works for everyone. That's it for this one. Hope you liked it. If you did, hit like, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you do all that, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.